got the free samples from, they said that they were supplying garden centers in the Hamilton area with this product this coming season. So do you remember all the places he said? There was, I know, Harper's Garden Center. They were going to be selling it, maybe Terra.
Yeah, I think quite a few of them. So you can check them out at any garden center. They'll have them. The big push is toward more of the organic types of fertilizers and amendments anyways. Mm-hmm. So you can easily find the mycorrhiza there.
Didn't Harper's have this a few years back?
I think they
sold buckets of them?
I think they had a different type, but it was quite similar.
Okay.
And I think the retail cost is about $12.99 for a bucket, but that should last you the entire season easily.
Yeah, because you certainly don't need very much, which is quite nice.
Now, if I have junky lawn, there's like patches and this and that, like ground, whatever. Do you think this would help? If I tried this and then fertilizer after? Yeah,
well, I probably would use an organic fertilizer. Like I'd probably use like a compost type or a top dresser instead of a chemical fertilizer. But certainly the mycorrhiza do really well with lawns. And they really promote the root growth.
That could kickstart the roots on the lawn in those areas where it's just pretty much dead, or not dead, but
Now with lawns, it's important to take note that there's a lot of things happening in the lawn, and it's not much of trying to band-aid the problem by throwing some stuff on it, but you have to actually keep in mind what's going on that's causing that.
Yep.
So there's a number of different factors with your lawns that can cause bald patches.
Yep.
And one of them is compaction. So maybe we'll go over a few of the lawn issues. I know it's really the wrong time of year to be talking about it, but if you've had problems before,
we'll do it again in the spring.
Yeah,
too.
if you've had problems before in your lawn and you're trying to figure out, what am I going to do in the spring because my lawn looks awful. We'll talk over a few of the things that could be the perpetrators of poor lawns.
I was going to say...
Tell us about the perps.
Two of the biggest ways you can help your lawn, especially in the fall, is doing aerating and dethatching. So aerating is when they sell special machines or you can rent them.
Yeah.
And they have little hooks on the end. And what they do is you operate this across your lawn and it makes holes in the lawn.
Yeah.
Which helps just bring more air to the roots and good health for your grass. And dethatching is when it's also a machine, or you can somewhat do it with raking.
Yeah, you can do it by hand.
That's usually what I use.
And dethatching is when you look in your lawn and there's a lot of dead growth or dead pieces of grass that has gone into the undergrowth, kind of like the organic matter that's been added just by the grass itself. But what happens is this can all, start layering up, and then it makes it damp and it creates diseases.
Exactly.
In the base of your grass. So just those two things you can really see a difference if you practice that. They
provide a really significant increase to your plant's health. One of the big things, the thatching, what happens is normally these grass blades, when you clip them, normally they'll disintegrate on their own. But what starts happening over time is sometimes the disintegration in comparison to, the buildup of the plant material, especially if you have really lush grass, the buildup of the plant material is way too fast. So it starts layering up and your soil's bacteria can't break it down quickly enough. So you get that layering.
And that's, I think, one of the causes of pink snow mold. And what that looks like is in the early spring, when you see those kind of little circles of brown grass.
Yeah.
That's what pink snow mold is. And that's from the buildup of all that matter, organic matter, not breaking down fast enough.
So if you see those big round spots in the early spring, that's definitely what it is. Now,
I've never heard that name before.
Pink snow mold?
Yeah, I like it.
It's kind of a very pretty name for a very awful plant disease. Now, I mentioned the compaction, and the aerating is something that can really alleviate compaction. Now, I wanted to talk about some of the symptoms of compaction that you can find. Normally what happens is when you have compaction in your lawn, you'll have bare spots where absolutely nothing is growing.
Yes.
What you may find there is you actually may find crabgrass. Because crabgrass, I found when I was working at a few places with the U, Peter, is that areas that were right nearby pathways where a lot of people were stepping, there was a lot of foot traffic. You found that grass could not grow there anymore, but the crabgrass could. And that's that really sharp, branching out grass that is pretty much unsightly.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a chia pet coming out of the...
Terrible. We pulled up a lot of that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Frank and we pulled up a lot of
I
that.
got a little overzealous, and I left big dirt patches. I didn't know you weren't supposed to do that.
A big, giant patch.
It's like a desert. I was like, oops.
Frank, what are you doing?
So make sure that you do some aerating in the fall time, and that will allow air circulation to go through the soil, and it'll help prevent that compaction.
Now, if you have a small area that you don't want to rent these machines to do that, I mean, there's simple garden tools that can help you. You can take a garden fork and then just go around in rows and make holes in your lawn.
Yep.
And like I said before, you can use a
I
rake.
did that last year, too.
Just really get in the grass and rake up all that
Oh, for sure.
dead stuff that's accumulated.
Yeah.
I would even do that in the spring. You definitely can aerate in the spring and dethatch.
Yeah,
it's just better in the fall because with the snow piling on your lawn, if you have that all removed, it comes up much nicer in the spring.
Plus, in the springtime, you run the risk, because you have very wet soil still after all the snow melt, is you have a risk of actually compacting your snow, or compacting your soil, while you're doing that. But the early spring is actually a really good time to be doing it, especially because the weather's nice and cool. And it's still sunny, so.
Yeah.
Compaction is a big one. Thatch is a big one. Another one that has been spoken about is grubs. And you first notice the effects of grubs, I think about... When have you seen it, Peter?
Grubs are midsummer, right around
Midsummer.
there. Yeah.
So June, July, August. More towards July, August. You'll start seeing the impact of those. Now, what you'll see is basically all of a sudden there'll be large patches of the grass that are just gone. They're yellow and dead.
They're just yellow and dead.
Yellow and dead. And what you want to do is you want to be treating that with actually another biological product that I've seen kicking around, and that's the nematodes.
Yes, another excellent organic product.
Yeah.
Which some plants like to eat.
And nematodes are little insects that work with you to get rid of those grubs.
Really? And
I know they're microscopic.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're actually really cool.
How do you know that the store actually sold you something?
That's a good question. You actually have to use a microscope to be sure about it. But you'll know a difference. We've used it in our grass before. And what they do is they'll actually parasitize the grubs and eat them from the inside out.
Delicious. Another way you can, if you're not into that you can maybe limit the amount of grubs you have in your garden is the main ones that are the grubs are the Japanese beetles and the June bug.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, June bugs, I like those guys. They don't really cause much harm, but we all know that Japanese beetle, eats a lot of the leaves of your plants, and they feast and they seem to multiply pretty fast. So you can buy traps, pheromone traps that you can hang up in your garden, and it'll catch a lot of them, and then that prevents them from reproducing and laying eggs in the soil, and therefore creating the grubs.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, just make sure that when you do have the traps that you're placing them at a corner of your yard, away from your garden beds, because they will go and they'll munch on things on their way to the pheromone trap.
There is a downfall to the trap, though, is that they do attract.
They do attract,
Yeah.
so that's why you want to make sure to place it in an area that's away from your beds.
Yep.
Somewhere where it's in the corner of your yard that maybe you don't go to very often. Maybe it's by your compost pile.
Yeah.
so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And one last simple thing for the whole grass thing, why it's not growing and stuff too, that you might want to check is the trees around it, the branching. You might want to thin it out and get some sunlight in there.
That's true, and trees can actually have a really big effect on how the grass does.
Yep.
And there are, shade and sun mixes of lawn seed. If you're looking to reseed in some areas, maybe consider the type of grass you want to grow.
Yep. And sometimes it's just a matter of adding some topsoil. That maybe your grass is lacking a little bit of nutrition, so that you just need to add a little bit of grass or a little bit of topsoil and get it going again. Mm-hmm. So I think that's just about all we have for